Hey there, I'm John from My Solar Home. I'm a solar professional. I've been doing solar installing and selling solar for over 15 years. I run the My Solar Home YouTube channel and website, and I love helping people go solar, learn about solar and solar technology. And over this time, I've helped over 1,300 homeowners and businesses go solar across 17 states. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about a very common question I keep getting asked. Does solar actually save you money? Does it have a good ROI? So I decided to actually look at the return on investment on 7 of my own customers, folks who bought solar from me. So I looked at 7 customers in Arizona, Colorado, California, Illinois, New Jersey, and Texas. And I looked at how they've been doing in terms of their solar investments. And I thought that will be the best way to answer the question that you have on the top of your mind. So if you're thinking of going solar today, this would be a really good video to watch. Stick around. Okay, I'll start with my friend Tejas in New Jersey. Now, New Jersey is one of the costlier states in the US. Electricity sells for around 19 cents per kilowatt hours. Tejas pays about that much for his electric, and he decided in 2022 to go solar to offset 100% of his electric bill. Now, in order to offset 100% of his bill, he had to go for an 8.8 kW system. And he bought a top-of-line system with REC panels and N-phase microinverters. And like everybody in the US who goes and buys solar, the federal government pays you a 30% discount right up front. This is wonderful. Anybody, doesn't matter what income level you have. If you pay $10,000 for solar, 3,000 of that 30% will come back to you as a tax credit, as a check back to you. So they just ended paying $18,110 after the federal tax credit for his 8.8 kW system. Now, that system practically took his electric bill down to zero, about $5 or $6 a month, sometimes even less than that. And in the first year, he ended up saving about $2,006 on his electric bills alone. Now, Jersey is a wonderful state. Not only is it my home state, but it pays you to go solar. So they have a program known as an SREC program. And now that SREC program pays Tejas an additional $950 towards going solar. So every year, Tejas is saving $2,006 on his electric bills and $950 on his, and he's getting $950 from the state. So just imagine you've spent $18,100 today on your solar. You already got back close to $3,000 in your first year. This continues year over year. Guess what? In less than 6 years, in fact, in 5.8 years, Tejas is going to recover all his money back. Whatever he spent on solar, he's got it back. After that, he will continue to save money on electricity and make money from the SRECs. The SRECs end on the 15th year. Let's see what will happen to Tejas' investment in year 15. By the time his system hits year 15, Tejas would have earned an income of $32,615 from his solar system. That means not only has he got back his initial investment of $18,110, on top of that, he's earned $32,615. In terms of an ROI, that's a whopping 180%. If some of you are scratching your head with a 180% number, I'll make it easier. If Tejas had decided to invest that money into a CD for 15 years instead, the only way he would have hit that $32,615 interest income on that CD was if his CD gave him an interest of 7.11%. Because he went solar, he earned the equivalent of putting that investment into a CD paying 7.11%. It's a super investment. Guess what? If you take the equivalent example of putting his money into a CD, that would have been a 25-year CD paying him 6.34% interest. If you notice, this is a little less than the interest for the 15-year version because the SRECs in Jersey end in 15 years. After 15 years, he would only have continued to save on his electric. But overall, as you can see, the real numbers for a system in Jersey are fabulous. Solar in New Jersey is really a no-brainer if you're a single-family homeowner. You earn super returns on investment. Next, let's go visit my friend Noel in Texas. Noel is a medical professional, and hey, if you're watching, thank you for all that you do. Noel bought a 13.2 kW system. Texas, big state, big electric bills. But fortunately for Noel, the price of electricity in Texas is lower than New Jersey. It's about 15 cents. But because they get such a lot of sunlight, thankfully you don't need as many panels as you need in Jersey. But still, because he has a big electric bill, he had to go for a larger 13.2 kW system. So the out-of-pocket for Noel after getting his tax credit of 30% for his system was $23,562 for his system. Now, Noel saves about $2,970 a year on his electric. There are no other state incentives, so that's the only saving. What that means is by the time he recovers his money back, it'll be a little longer than Tejas in New Jersey. So the payback period is 7.16 years. He will get back his initial investment back into his pocket in 7.16 years. And after that, the savings will continue to grow. If you look at the same thing we did for Tejas, after 15 years, Noel's system would have earned him a net income of $31,145. That's an ROI of 131% after 15 years. And if we do the same comparison that if Noel had put this money into a CD for 15 years, what kind of interest rate would he have had to earn to get this money? That interest rate would be 5.78%. Over 25 years, Noel's system would earn him $80,638. In terms of an ROI, that's a whopping 342%. And if we looked at how much this would be in terms of equivalent CD, that would be a 25-year CD at 6.13%. Pretty much equivalent to what Tejas is getting in Jersey. Now, what would have happened if Noel decided not to do solar and he continued to pay his electric bills? Guess what? In 25 years, he would have ended up paying $69,961. So versus paying $69,961, Noel is instead looking at earning $80,638 over this time. Solar is simply a no-brainer. Instead of paying the utility company through the years, pay yourself a big chunk of money. In case of Tejas, if he hadn't gone solar and if he had continued to pay his electric bill, he would have paid a whopping $59,078 to PSE&G, his electric company. Now, instead of paying them $59,078, he is going to end up making $66,050 in the next 25 years. Much, much better deal. All right, from Texas, let's go to California. And California, my friend Mitch installed a same size system as Noel. California is a little more expensive in terms of solar than other states. Everything in California is more expensive. The price of electricity is electric, 31 cents per kilowatt hour. Amazing. I think Hawaii is probably the only state higher than California. So it is a no-brainer that you need to go solar in California, even though they're trying to make it difficult. And I'll discuss both the options. Mitch went solar before the NEM 3 regulations kicked in. You need not go into NEM 3, but basically I have videos on my channel. But now when you go solar for most areas in California, it's better to go solar with a battery. Earlier, like when Mitch went solar, just going solar was good enough. So let's look at Mitch's numbers in California. California, like Texas, gets a lot of sun. So fortunately, you can do with smaller systems. Mitch has a big home in California and he needed a 10 kW system. And he bought that system. The amount that he had to pay after he got his tax credit for the system was $21,840. Now, since costs a huge amount for power in California, about 31 cents, the savings in California are much bigger. As a result, Mitch pays about $390 a month on electricity, close to $5,000 of savings every year from electric. Mitch is going to recover his entire solar investment in just about 4.4 years. So it's amongst the lowest payback periods in the United States. And if he waits for about 15 years, that system is going to save him about $63,812 over the 15 years. That's a return on investment of 292%. And going with our earlier example, it's as if Mitch invested $21,840 into a CD that paid him 9.54% interest. Massive. After 25 years, savings go even bigger, $141,302 in terms of savings. That means an ROI of 647%. And in terms of an equivalent CD, an interest of 8.38% over 25 years. Solar in California was fantastic earlier. Now it's become a little less fantastic. If Mitch had gone solar today, for example, just doing solar panels wouldn't have worked out. He would have had to buy a battery too. So let's look at the math for new Mitch, assuming he had gone solar with a battery. Now, the cost of his system with the battery would have increased. So his investment into solar would have, instead of being $21,840, would have gone up to about $33,640. This is assuming he bought a 10 kilowatt hour battery. So how would the math look now after NEM 3? It still looks fantastic. The payback period is a little longer. It's about 6.57 years, about less than 7 years, still great. He now stands to make $141,302 over 25 years income on that initial investment of $21,840. And even if he decided to do this a year later, say today, he would have still saved those $109,535. He would have made slightly less because he'd have had to buy a battery too, and his savings after 25 years, or rather his income after 25 years, would have been $129,542. Still a fabulous investment. That was California. I hope you're liking what you're seeing so far. Do like and subscribe. Keeps me going and helps keep my channel do well. Next, let's look at another state which is simply a no-brainer for solar, Illinois. If any one of you is in Illinois and you have a single-family home, you are wasting away if you are not doing solar. In Illinois, my friend Sridhar decided to go solar with me. Sridhar is a doctor. He works really, really hard, and he has a nice big home, and he has an electric bill which is $630 a month. Incredible the amount of money he had to spend on his electric bills. He was looking for a solution. We met up, and thank goodness he went solar today. Illinois is even better than New Jersey in terms of solar because Illinois, the state, pays you all that incentive money up front. They have an SREC program like New Jersey, but they pay all the money up front within 6 months of installing a system. Sridhar, with a $630 bill a month, needed a large system, a 31.6 kW system. But because he was getting back the 30% from the federal government and almost another 40% from the state of Illinois through their SREC program as a lump sum, within 6 months of his taking up the system, the net cost for Sridhar for his 31.6 kW system was just $29,000, $29,012 to be exact. That is amazing. Guess how long it'll take Sridhar to get back his money that he invested into solar. It'll just take him 4.85 years. That's right, in less than 5 years, Sridhar is going to get all his money back. He would have recovered his investment. And if he continues going forward, which I'm sure he will, in 15 years, Sridhar's system will earn him 73,429 bucks. That's an ROI of 253% on his investment. And if he compares it to putting into a CD, that would be a 15-year CD paying him 8.77%. In 25 years, his system will earn him $166,110. That's an ROI of 573%. And if you compare it to a CD, that's a 25-year CD paying 7.92% interest. So Sridhar made the right decision to go solar. In fact, anybody who has a single-family home in Illinois, write to me, email me, you should be going solar. My last two customers are from two states where the solar math is still very good, but not as good as some of the states we've looked at. Let's start with James, who's in Arizona. Arizona, the cost of electricity is reasonably high. It's about 16 cents. They have a nice $1,000 incentive that the state gives in terms of a state tax credit. So it's pretty reasonable. Now, James needed a 13.2 kW system. So he needed a large system because he has a nice big home. And James, he is really a solar aficionado. He wanted to do solar and he wanted to also get battery backup with it. He wanted to make sure that if the grid ever failed, he had enough power to run all the essentials in his home. So James decided to do solar with solar panels and he added a battery. James bought a 13.2 kW system with a 20 kWh battery. And he is a very happy camper today, but because even with that big a system and those batteries, the math looks really good for James. Let's look at the math. The net price of his system after he got his 30% tax credit on both the solar and the batteries turned out to be $36,036. Now, with the savings that he is getting off his electric bills, it'll take James about 9.9 years to get his investment back. So not as quickly as some of the other states, but remember, he bought both a system and a battery. That's a much bigger investment. So 9.9 years for him to get his investment back. And in 15 years after getting his investment back, he would earn another 22,318 bucks. So in terms of an ROI for James, his ROI is 62% in 15 years, and an equivalent CD would need to earn him 3.27% over 15 years. Not too bad. And over 25 years, the math starts looking much better. The amount that he would earn as income of his solar system would be $75,111. That's a 208% ROI, or the equivalent in terms of a CD that would have needed to pay him 4.61% interest through the 25 years. James decided to go solar because he did not want to pay his utility company over this long period of time. If he had decided to stick and go without solar, he would have ended up paying close to $74,625 over this time. He decided no more electric bills. So instead of paying $74,625 over the next 25 years, James with his battery system is instead going to earn $75,111 bucks. Much better deal. James is much happier. Finally, for my last system, let's go over to Colorado and my friend Don, who decided to buy an 8 kW system. Power in Colorado is slightly cheaper than other states at about 15 cents. And Don was paying about $125 bucks a month for his electric bill. Once he went solar, he spent, after his tax credits, $16,576 for a solar system. Every year, the solar savings from electric add up, and it would take Don about 10 years, 10.01 years to recover his money back. So Colorado is not as great as some of the other states because cost of electricity is lower there, and he'll take about 10 years to get his investment back. In 15 years, Dawn system will earn him $9,948. That's an ROI of 60%, or an equivalent CD that would earn him 3.18% over that period of time. Over 25 years, Dawn's system would save him $33,945. That's an ROI of 205%. Or if you look at equivalent CD, and CD which would earn him 4.56% interest. So for Dawn, the choice was clear: either pay $33,921 to the electric company over the next 25 years for his electric bill, or buy solar and instead earn over $33,945. The math works out equally well. Takes him a little longer to get his money back, but everybody, these folks who went solar with me, they all would have gone solar even if the savings didn't look so great. They're all extremely environmentally conscious. They're trying to do the best thing for the environment. Well, now you've seen how the ROI looks like for people across different states in the US. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in going solar, I can help you. Write to me, john@mysolarhome.us, or call me 609-908-3700. Thank you so very much, and you have a wonderful day.